August 16, 1977. Graceland goes silent. But 40 years later, in a dusty attic box marked, "Do Not Open," Priscilla Presley finds a leather diary. Elvis's handwriting, pages never meant for the world. One entry, dated 3 weeks before he died, reveals a secret so raw it shatters the legend we thought we knew. It's August 2017, 40 years to the day. Priscilla Presley, 72 years old, stands in the private archive room of Graceland, a place tourists never see. The air smells like old paper and mothballs. Dust floats through afternoon light. She's here with Margaret Chen, the estate archivist, sorting through boxes that haven't been touched since Elvis's father Vernon died in 1979. Margaret lifts a banker's box from a steel shelf. It's sealed with packing tape, yellowed and brittle. Across the top, in Vernon's shaky handwriting, "Elvis Private, do not open." Priscilla freezes. "Should we?" Margaret asks. Priscilla doesn't answer. Her hands hover over the box like it might burn her. For 40 years, she's carried the weight of August 16, 1977, the day the world lost Elvis, the day she lost the father of her child. She's told his story 1,000 times. Interviews, documentaries, memorials. But she's never seen this box. Margaret cuts the tape. The sound is loud in the quiet room, like ripping off a bandage. Inside, a worn leather diary, burgundy, the size of a paperback novel. The cover is cracked. The pages are warped, like they've been held in sweaty hands. Priscilla lifts it out. Her fingers trace the embossed initials. A.P. Elvis Aaron Presley. She opens to the first page. The handwriting is unmistakable, slanted, hurried, the way he wrote set lists backstage. But these aren't song notes. These are entries, dated, personal, and they're all from 1977, the year he died. Margaret steps back, giving her space. Priscilla's hands are shaking now. She's crying without realizing it, because she knows whatever is in these pages, Elvis kept it from everyone, even her. She looks at Margaret. "I need to be alone." Margaret nods and closes the door behind her. Priscilla sits in the heavy silence. Outside, she can hear the distant hum of Graceland tours, strangers walking through Elvis's life, touching the myth. But in here, in this room, she's holding the man. She flips to the first entry. January 8, 1977. His last birthday. What was he hiding in those final months? The entry begins with a single line. "I'm 42 today. I don't feel like a king. I feel like a ghost." Priscilla's breath catches. She reads on. January 8, 1977. Graceland. Outside the gates, 10,000 fans are singing "Happy Birthday." Inside, Elvis is alone in his bedroom with the curtains drawn. He writes about the noise, how it never stops, how even in his own home he can't escape being Elvis. "I didn't sleep again last night," he writes. "Maybe 3 hours total. The pills don't work anymore. Or maybe they work too well. I can't tell the difference." He mentions Dr. George Nicopolos, his physician. He says, "I need to rest. But how do I rest when I'm a prisoner in my own body?" Priscilla can barely hold the diary steady. She's known about the pills, the insomnia, the exhaustion. Everyone did. But reading it in his handwriting, raw, unfiltered, it's like hearing his voice again. And then the line that stops her cold. "I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending I'm the king." Taped to the page is a ticket stub. Elvis in concert, Las Vegas Hilton, January 26, 1977, canceled. She remembers that show. He was supposed to play the Hilton for 2 weeks. He canceled after 3 nights. The official reason, exhaustion. The real reason, she's holding it now. The entry continues. Elvis writes about a moment that morning when he looked in the mirror and didn't recognize himself. "The costume fits, but the man inside is gone. I used to know who I was. Now I'm just whoever they need me to be." He ends the entry with a question. "If I stopped being Elvis, would anyone still love me?" Priscilla closes the diary for a moment. Her chest is tight. She wants to reach back through time and answer him. Yes. Yes, we would. But she can't. He died without knowing. She flips forward. February, March, April. The entries are erratic, sometimes daily, sometimes weeks apart. He writes about concerts where he forgets lyrics, about fans who love a man who no longer exists, about Lisa Marie, 9 years old, asking why daddy doesn't live with them anymore. And then she lands on June 26, 1977. The handwriting changes. It's Messier, desperate. What happened between January and August? June 26, 1977. Indianapolis. Market Square Arena. 18,000 people packed into the venue. It's Elvis's final concert, though no one knows it yet. The entry is dated June 27th, the day after. Written in a hotel room at 4 a.m. I forgot the words last night, he writes. Priscilla's stomach drops. We were playing Can't Help Falling in Love. The Closer, the song I've sung 10,000 times. I opened my mouth and nothing came out. I just stood there. She can picture it. The stage lights, the crowd waiting, Elvis frozen. And then they started singing, he writes. All 18,000 of them. They sang it for me. They saved me when I couldn't save myself. Priscilla is crying again. She imagines the crowd, faces she'll never know, holding him up in that moment, carrying him through the song. Did they realize? Did they know he was breaking? I finished the show, Elvis writes. I smiled. I threw scarves. I did the bit where I kissed the women in the front row. But inside, I was screaming. The entry gets darker. Backstage, Charlie found me on the floor. I don't remember falling. He helped me up, got me to the car. No one said anything. They never do. Charlie Hodge, Elvis's bodyguard, his friend. He was there for everything, and he watched it happen. Elvis writes, how do I tell them I'm drowning? How do I say the king is dying and I don't know how to save him? Paper-clipped to the entry is a Polaroid. Priscilla pulls it free. The image is faded but clear. Elvis on stage, arms wide, the crowd a blur of light behind him. He's smiling. But if you look close, really close, his eyes are empty. She studies the photo for a long time. This is the image the world saw. The legend. The myth. But in the diary, she's seeing the truth. And there's more. She flips forward, her hands moving faster now, desperate to know how the story ends. July passes, then August 1st, August 8th, August 12th, and then August 15th, 1977. The last entry. Her hands stop. She stares at the date. August 15th, the day before he died. But there was one entry she couldn't read yet. The last one. Priscilla's hands are shaking so hard she has to set the diary down for a moment. She presses her palms flat against the table, breathing deep, trying to steady herself. August 15th, 1977. 16 hours before his death. She picks up the diary again, opens to the page. The handwriting is barely legible, rushed, shaky, like he was running out of time. The entry begins, Lisa Marie. It's a letter. He's writing to his daughter. I'm sorry, it says. I'm sorry I chose this life over being your dad. I'm sorry you have to share me with the world. I'm sorry I became the costume instead of the man. Priscilla's vision blurs. She wipes her eyes and keeps reading. You're 9 years old and you barely know me. That's my fault. I thought I could have both, the music and you. But I was wrong. The music took everything. He writes about missed birthdays. About phone calls he was too exhausted to make. About moments he'll never get back. And then the revelation. I've been seeing someone, he writes. A therapist. Dr. Sarah Feldman. In Memphis. I didn't tell anyone because I was ashamed. Kings don't go to therapy. Kings don't admit they're broken. Priscilla's heart stops. She's never heard this name. Dr. Sarah Feldman. Was this real? She says I'm sick, Elvis writes. Not just the pills. Not just the exhaustion. She says I've been running from myself for so long I don't know how to stop. And she's right. The entry continues. Elvis describes their sessions 3 times in July. Secret meetings in a back office on Union Avenue. He talks about shame, about fear, about the weight of being Elvis Presley for 20 years. I told her I want to stop, he writes. I want to check into rehab. 30 days. Clean out my system. Learn how to be human again. Priscilla's chest tightens. He was going to get help. Dr. Feldman found a program. Starts September 1st. Private facility in California. No one will know. I'll just disappear for a month. And when I come back, I'll be different. I'll be Dad again. Not Elvis. Just Dad. Tears are streaming down Priscilla's face now. He was planning to come back. The entry continues. Tomorrow I'll tell Colonel Parker. He won't like it. He'll say I'm breaking contracts, losing money. But I don't care anymore. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep pretending. And then the final line, written in the bottom right corner of the page. Tomorrow I'll tell. The sentence ends mid-word, unfinished, because 16 hours later, Elvis Presley collapsed in the bathroom at Graceland. By 3:30 p.m. on August 16, 1977, he was gone. He never made it to September 1st. He died 16 hours later. Priscilla closes the diary. She sits in the silence of the archive room, holding 40 years of grief in her hands. He was trying to come back. Margaret Chun knocks softly and opens the door. Are you okay? Priscilla looks up. Her face is wet, her eyes red. He was trying to save himself. Margaret sits beside her. What do you mean? Priscilla shows her the final entry. They read it together in the quiet. When they finish, Margaret says, "The world needs to know this." Priscilla nods. I know. In February 2018, Priscilla Presley appears on 60 Minutes. She's holding the diary. The camera zooms in on the burgundy leather cover, the worn edges, the initials. She reads excerpts. Not all of it, some things are still too private. But enough. Enough for the world to understand that Elvis wasn't just a legend who burned out. He was a man who tried to come back and ran out of time. The interview goes viral. 40 million people watch within a week. Addiction experts cite it as a turning point. The Elvis Diary, they call it. It becomes a teaching tool, a reminder that fame doesn't make you invincible. That asking for help isn't weakness. That sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit you're drowning. In September 2018, Priscilla donates the diary to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's displayed in a private exhibit. Elvis, the man behind the king. Visitors stand in front of the glass case, reading the final entry, the unfinished sentence. And they cry, because they understand now. He wasn't a myth. He was human. Lisa Marie Presley, in an interview months before her own death in 2023, says this, "I spent my whole life angry at him for leaving, but now I understand. He loved me. He just didn't know how to save himself. And that's the hardest part, knowing he tried." She pauses. Her voice breaks. "I wish he'd lived long enough to see that it's okay to not be okay. That we would have loved him anyway." Priscilla keeps a photocopy of the final page in her home. She reads it sometimes when the grief gets heavy. And she whispers the words Elvis never got to finish. "Tomorrow I'll tell you I'm coming home." Legends are human. Behind every spotlight is a person carrying weight the world will never see. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit you need help, even if you run out of time. Because the love you leave behind isn't in the music or the fame. It's in the moments you tried to come back. It's in the unfinished sentences. It's in the hope that maybe, just maybe, tomorrow will be different. Rest in peace, Elvis. You were more than the king. You were a father who wanted to come home. If the story moved you, share it. Because someone you know might be holding their own unfinished sentence, trying to come back, trying to save themselves. Let them know it's okay to ask for help. Let them know they're loved. And if you need help, reach out. Tomorrow is always worth fighting for.